What's up, y'all? Man, I know I've not been posting a lot of content this week, but I just want to get on here and talk about a couple of things. You know, I mentioned in the last video, when I said, I don't even remember what it was completely about, but I know I said something along the lines of, I'm a bodybuilder, casually. And when people hear that, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Because I feel like a bodybuilder is someone that's going to the gym. They're clearly living a bodybuilder lifestyle, whether they're trying to gain or they're trying to lose. They have that goal in mind of the physique, right? You're not a power lifter. You might lift heavy. There's guys that are bodybuilders that, you know, I think a lot of bodybuilders should lift heavy, but I'm talking about like 1 rep maxes, you know. So what are your thoughts on, like, you know, what is acceptable for calling yourself a bodybuilder? Because some people believe you're not a bodybuilder unless you compete. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. I get the logic behind it because it's like you're earning this title as a bodybuilder. But I think that, for one, like, the title itself is just very subjective, and that if people love the lifestyle, they love what bodybuilders do, like maybe they like, you know, getting big, eating those egg whites, oats, and, you know, chicken, and all that fun stuff, your BCAs, or your whatever, you know, everything that comes with it, the training, the sleep if you can, all of it. So I feel like if you're doing all of those things and you're into fitness and you specifically love bodybuilding, I mean, there's this guy this morning, I saw him, he was like 275, about the same height as me. I'm 235. He's big as hell. I mean, fucking big, dude, like massive. No, you know, he probably has a stomach, I don't know, he's wearing a hoodie, but not overboard to the point where you're like, all right, what are you doing, buddy? You know, and like, teach your own too on that regard, you know. But I feel like when I look at him, I don't gotta ask him if he's a bodybuilder. I just know. And it's just an interesting topic for me. But no, yeah, I've been training a lot, man. It's been fun. Today I hit back, and I was gonna do, oh my gosh, I don't know how long that's been in front of there. But I hit back, but I was gonna do the sauna. I didn't get to hit it for too long, but I did back, I did forearms. I hit them separately, right? Because I wear grips when I work back, because I really want to focus in on the back. So I wear Versa grips for a lot of the exercises, but I still work forearms. And I've been more diligent lately, I feel like, about working forearms, and it's paying off. Between that and my nutrition, I'm noticing more veins in my arms, and it's feeling good, it looks good. I can kind of see the potential of how vascular I can really get when I'm looking down at my arms now. Depending on the type of day, what part of the day it is, especially like, I would say like meal 1 or meal 2, when I like get some like natural sugars and some vitamins in me and stuff, man, it feels so good and I feel so energized. I've been in this heat driving for a couple hours, y'all. But no, it's been an interesting week. We started with Monday was the international, no, it was chest day though, it was push day, okay? I've been focusing on pretty much upper chest, developing the shelf as best as I can, and widening the shoulders. The triceps I kind of have a little more control of, because if I've grown my triceps like huge before, for my body weight, I was only 200 pounds at the time, but I've grown my triceps pretty huge, and then I've been like 260 with, you know, like pretty decent sized triceps, not super huge. They definitely could have had some more size. Granted, I had not the cleanest nutrition, so I had a little gut, at 260. But yeah, that was Monday chest push day. Tuesday, that is today, we hit back. I honestly felt like it was Wednesday, I'm not gonna lie. I thought there was gonna be another day I was gonna have to tell you guys about. But truthfully, I'm excited for my next 2 meals. My next meal is gonna be I don't want to call it a cheeseburger, right? It's gonna be a lettuce wrap. And it's gonna have ground beef in it. Pretty simple, pretty basic. But I'm excited for it. I'm gonna throw some pickles in that shit too. Real talk. 0 calories. I already looked at it. So yep, I'm gonna do that. Eat that. That'll be good. And then my last meal, that's the one I'm excited for. I am excited for that one. I love the little, I love doing protein shakes, right? But protein bowls, I really, really like. Pretty much anything that you would do, I've been doing this for a long time. When I was bulking, I was doing Snickers bowls, right? So let's say if I'm on a bulk, right? I would do a bunch of oats. I'm not measuring it, just a fuck ton of oats. I have a pretty large bowl at home. I'd say a half a fucking bowl of oats. And then I would throw in 2 scoops of chocolate peanut butter, protein, amazing. I like the Isoflex brand, that's me. ISO 100 is alright, And when it first came out, it wasn't so easy on my stomach. Honestly, my body just felt weird on it. I liked the VH1 ISO was pretty good for a while, but Isoflex seems to be the one that's been the most agreeable consistently for 6 years for me. I love Isoflex by all max, so I will continue to get Isoflex. So yeah, you got your oats, you got your Isoflex, and then I like to throw in some almonds because I like the almonds. I don't really care too much for regular peanuts and stuff like that. The almonds are more nutritious than a lot of those other nuts. And then let me see. So we got that, and then we got and you can do almond butter instead if you want to. That's a newer thing that I like more. So you could do that, but I would do the oats. I would do and I like the crunch. So yeah, the oats, the chocolate peanut butter, protein. I would do the almonds. I do some of that sugar-free caramel sauce. Very good. And I feel like I'm missing something. So we got the oats, the protein, the nuts, the caramel drizzle, and peanut butter. And then your choice, you can either just do it with water. You can use almond milk. I don't use regular milk, so you can use almond milk or you can use chocolate almond milk. When you use chocolate almond milk, the dark chocolate almond milk, that shit is so rich, and it's so good, and it's just, it's amazing. Yeah, I said, yeah, that's how it feels. Try that bowl, you'll never regret it. It is so fucking good. So that's one meal that I love, and I don't even know how I got on this topic of food, but I love food, and I love training. Dude, I love doing cardio. A lot of people don't know, when I first got into fitness as a kid, I've always been pretty much into fitness. I never knew bodybuilding until about 2019 though. As a matter of fact, my deltoids were smaller than my bicep and tricep, and I thought it was the same muscle. I didn't know that they were separate muscles that I was working. So when I would work arms, biceps and triceps, I thought I was working shoulders. I didn't really know what a V-taper was or none of that. All I knew was I'm gonna do this elliptical for 45 minutes. I'm gonna play basketball about 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how frisky I feel, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But no, yeah, then I'd hit some weights. You know what I mean? And I was like kind of infatuated with like how much I could lift as like any kid would be when they're younger. And then as I like got into high school, like my dad used to work out a lot too. I should mention that. He lifted a bunch of weights. It wasn't like a bodybuilding style specifically, but he was a weightlifter. He loved lifting weights. He was always lifting weights. He would actually call us down when we were like under 7 years old, and he'd have us like, he'd put his feet up on the bench, have us sit on his chest, and he would be benching, or have us sit on his stomach. Yeah, have us sit on his stomach, and he would be benching on his chest, and it would force him to flex his abs while he's benching. That's insane. My dad was a whole unit doing that. So that was me as a kid, dude. And then like as we got older and everything, then like, you know, I'm in my weights class. My uncle, he's like a freaking bodybuilding nerd. So I got all these things surrounding me. My dad's always talking about working out still, always talking about lifting, supplements, nutrition, you know. So between all of that and then me just kind of like partying for a couple years and, you know, doing music professionally and just focusing on that. And then it got to a certain point where I got membership. Well, first of all, I got membership at Blue Moon Fitness, and I pretty much had the same style workout. I started lifting a little bit more weights with like my homie Taylor, and then eventually it was my homie Matt, some dudes from high school, you know, and I'm still cool with both of them. They're good friends of mine, and we would go to Blue Moon every day. First it was every day with Taylor, then he moved away, and then it was every day with Matt. Then I got reintroduced to my homie, my homie from high school, Markel. We were not friends in high school. We talked maybe a couple times. He had his own crew. You know, I was a little weird dude and everything. But dude, when I met him at Bob's, like he would lift with everybody. And everybody wanted to lift with him because he's a fucking unit. Till this day, if you go to Bob's or you go to any DSM barbell in Des Moines, you know Markel. You ain't gonna miss him, okay? And that dude, he got me into bodybuilding. So with Markel getting me into bodybuilding and how much information, like I swear it was the first 6 months that I got my membership at Bob's. Well, first of all, my first week there, I hit him up. I'm like, bro, get a membership here. He gets there. We're lifting together every night. I'm talking 4 hours. Like, we did not care. Like, you know, people say you should only be in the gym for this long. We were in there for fucking hours, okay? Like, I definitely agree, like, there's something to be said about lifting too long, not doing enough, talking too much. Like, yeah, if you're by yourself, like, fucking kill it. But you're with other people, it might take a little bit longer for one. For two, if you're including your posing, you're including, you know, when did you even start lifting when you walk in the door, you're including your cardio, you're including time in the sauna. There's a whole lot that's going on there. So yeah, you're gonna be there for a hot minute. But yeah, he got me introduced into all that and the love for it. And I got addicted to the iron in 2019, and I threw away my little package of cigarettes in after about, I don't know, a couple months. I don't remember how many months specifically. I know it was December. Oh shit. Why do people slam on their brakes? Idiots, bro. That's why I'm hands-free. I'm not gonna be like those idiots who just slams on their brakes. You know, it's okay. Stuff happens. We're gonna try to be nice. We're not gonna road rage. But on a serious note, though, yeah. So where was I at? I was talking about, yeah, I threw away that package of cigarettes, you know, after a couple months of going to Bob's, and I can't remember what flavor. It was probably some like Marlboro Menthols or Marlboro Reds, who knows. but my homie Tito, he saw how I was losing all this weight. I lost 40 pounds. And he was just like, dude, why are you still smoking cigarettes, you know? And like, I thought about it. I kept smoking for a while. Then it was like right before New Year's. And I looked at Markel, and we was in the locker room, and I said, I'm fucking done with this shit. He was like, what? And I grabbed my cigarettes, and I threw them in the trash can, never looked back. That was 2019. Now, I've quit cigarettes a couple of times before then. I've even quit as long as for like a couple months at a time, a year at a time, but I'm never going back to cigarettes at this point. 2019, it just doesn't make any sense. I stopped drinking because I love bodybuilding. You know, I didn't stop these things necessarily because they were bad habits. I mean, yeah, like, kind of, I guess, but I really stopped it because I was thinking about blood flow. I was thinking about muscle growth. I was thinking about recovery time. So, you know, that's kind of how my journey's been. You know, I've been very fat before. I've been very skinny before. So me, out of all these years figuring out how my body truly works, I came to the conclusion that with my body personally, I can really manipulate it however I want. You can look at it and say, oh, you got terrible genetics, or you can look at it and say, oh, I have great genetics. Here's the thing. So like, my dad's side of the family, very lean, very, very lean. They could be very lean athletes if they want to. They could be runners. My son runs a freaking mile in 6 minutes. It's pretty fast, if you ask me. And then you got my mom's side of the family, which are like powerlifters. You know, my uncle's a bodybuilder and stuff. They're just strong, freakishly huge. They're wider, you know. So one side of the family is very lean, one side of the family is very wide. My diet, my nutrition matters so much, because if I start eating like shit, I blow up. Now, within reason, right? Like, let's say if like I'm having that Snickers bowl that I mentioned every night. Like I was having the Snicker bowls every night when I was the leanest I've ever been at 200 pounds. You know, but that was like how bad is that really though? What did I say I put in it? I put in some oats, I put in some protein, I put in some nuts. I mean, these are all good things I was putting in it. And then to top it all off, like I was eating like a pescatarian back then. I went through a whole phase of not eating pork, which actually, the reason why I don't eat pork is because what good is that going to do for my body? Pork is terrible for you. And if you're religious, it doesn't matter what religion you're in, all those books tell you that pork is not good for you. Pork is terrible. And I'm not going to get on a pork hating binge, but y'all get the point. Pork, stay away from it. So yeah, this has been a fun journey though. Right now, yeah, I'm cutting weight. The goal is to get to about 215-ish. 215, if I could really put a number on it, probably 214. And be as lean as fucking possible. So that is the goal. And when I get that lean, I definitely like shortly after, I kind of want to see if my son wants to do like a 5K or something, or maybe even a 10K. I don't know. Something, maybe I'm just wilding, but like, I think it'd be really cool to lose a bunch of weight, do this run, and then start bulking up. But in my next bulk, I want to eat very clean foods. I'll mix in very seldomly some bullshit, very seldomly. It won't be a dirty bulk, no more dirty bulks. But I want to get up to 275. I think that would be amazing. If I can get to 275, I'd say 8 to 12 meals a day, very healthy meals, quality proteins, carbs. tapering up to it, right? Not just eating like that right away, because that would just gluttony, you know. But that's kind of the goal right now. It's been an interesting year too. I'll be honest. Like, there's a lot that's been going on. The only reason why I'm able to record right now is because I'm actually switching jobs, in the middle of switching here shortly. And I can't wait to tell you guys more about that. But right now, I've done about 20 minutes of rambling. I've never done this kind of deal before. But yeah, and if y'all could answer my question about, bodybuilding. What is a bodybuilder? And do you consider yourself a bodybuilder? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot to be said for that. I just feel like it's such a subjective thing. It's like asking me if I'm a rapper, right? Like, I can write a song, and if it sounds good and I'm really working towards something, just because I don't have a record deal doesn't mean I'm not a rapper. Just because I haven't done a show, I'm not a rapper. Just because I haven't done, it's crazy that you have to, there's a peanut gallery in the community that's basically like, you must do this before you earn this title. Some titles you gotta take, alright? That's the way I feel. And I don't mean that arrogantly. I just mean like, hey, that's your thing, that's what you love to do. Like, why not identify with it? You already are, day in and day out. But with that being said, I'm gonna get home, see what's cooking for these kids, or cook up for these kids, and then have that last, oh no, I got 2 more meals. Heck yeah. I'm actually a little hungry. So yeah, I have 2 more meals. Lettuce wrap, and then a nice little protein bowl. And I'll get some sleep. I'm gonna go to bed early tonight. I'm so tired. But without any further ado, y'all have a good Tuesday. It was back day. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you guys get back too. Bye.